Welcome back. Tomorrow is the first day of Teacher Appreciation Week. It was First Lady Eleanor Roosevelt who worked with Congress to get a day designated to honor teachers. That happened back in the 1950s. Teachers were celebrated on one day in February each year. Then in 1984, with guidance from the National PTA, the day expanded to a week of celebrating teachers, with those celebrations moving to May. Teachers now face different challenges, certainly, than they did in those early years on many different levels. Joining me to talk about what this week means to them and what life is like in the classroom in 2023 is Gail Jordan, an elementary school teacher in Bloomfield, and Katie Grant, who teaches English at Manchester High School. Welcome.
Thank you.
Thank you.
I want to start with you, Gail, and just this week, we said it before we began, maybe now more than ever, something like a Teacher Appreciation Week is probably needed. We see these weeks on calendars for, every profession you could imagine has a day or a week or something. But in today's climate, why is it important to recognize teachers?
It's so important to recognize teachers today because we are going through so much. Seemingly, the pandemic has kind of come to a close for most people across the world. However, in the classroom, we are still seeing the repercussions of students not having been in classrooms 2 years ago, or partly in a classroom but partly at home. So showing teachers the appreciation for what they've been through and what they continue to go through is a huge piece in order to retain and recruit new teachers to the profession.
Well, and you talk about what the students are facing, but teachers as well. Katie, if I could just turn to you, the numbers talking about burnout and stress and people who no longer are counting down, maybe 20, 30, 40 years ago, it was a countdown to that retirement. You knew you were a teacher, you had to work that certain number of years. Now it's more like, let me just try to get through to June 15th or whatever the date is in your district. What are you seeing among the teachers you work with?
Yeah, this job, while it is, I think, the best profession that one person can have, it is exhausting. It is exhausting mentally, emotionally, physically. My to-do list never ends. And while the joy of working with students is absolutely so rewarding, I am seeing such a level of stress in my colleagues and even in the aspiring educators that I work with across the state, that a lot of them are really kind of worried about the profession that they're going to be entering into in a couple of years, because there's not a lot that we see that's celebrated in teachers. And I think that's, again, an important part of why we need Teacher Appreciation Week, is so much of the kind of cultural narrative around teaching is that, teachers pay for supplies out of their own pockets. They work outside their contract hours. They don't make a lot of money. So it's hard right now. It really is.
You're sitting too far away to read off my notes, but I had all those things written down. Those kind of things, Gail, when you talk to somebody who says, I'm in high school, I'm in middle school, I'm interested in being a teacher, what do you tell them about that choice?
I think that it is something that they really have to consider. It's a lifestyle choice because you are expected to go above and beyond constantly, and you know that you have children that are looking to you for that guidance, and not just children, the families are looking to you for that kind of guidance, and you really have to consider, honestly, we have student loans that we have to consider, and the teaching profession, as she said, really isn't a top-paying profession, and with things like EdTPA, you have to actually pay as soon as you are done getting your degree, go into this other program to prove that you are still capable of teaching and apply and pay for those kinds of things. So you really have to keep in mind what it is you're stepping into, because it doesn't pay as well as other professions do with the same amount of criteria that you must have.
And but Katie, you talked about how rewarding it is to do it. So despite all that, you both love your jobs. So Katie, what's the thing that we can talk about, kids giving you gifts or parents saying thank you, but on this Teacher Appreciation Week, as we head into it, what changes could we make on a macro level that might help alleviate some of these problems?
Yeah, I think like Gail was saying, pay is a huge thing. I look at my friends that I graduated college with who are making twice what I make, and I have a master's degree and I have 2 undergraduate degrees. And I think really when we talk about the teacher shortage, we talk about enhancing the teacher profession, we have to talk about how can we make it better for the folks who are already teachers as well as better for folks who want to become teachers. It is a very long and very expensive process to become a teacher. Most folks are paying full tuition to work an unpaid job while then needing to pay for certification requirements on top of that. And so I think we need to look, again, like you said, at a macro level about what do we ask people to do to become a teacher to ensure that they're highly qualified professionals ready to take on their classroom on the first day of their first year. But then also, how can we make sure that it's an attractive career for second career educators and for folks who have already learned a skill set and want to now bring that into the classroom to benefit our students. But I think there's also a lot of other things that we were hoping for out of this legislative session, like the Educator Bill of Rights, making sure that you have protected lunch time and prep time and those sorts of things that can really help to enhance the teaching profession in the state.
So some changes that might make it easier for you to do your job.
Yes, absolutely.
What about that burnout factor, Gail? That's one of the things. Every survey you see, every article about teacher shortage, every group that puts it out, and it doesn't matter if it's the teachers union or the administrators union or just someone else, that everybody kind of agrees. Whatever your view of the world is, everybody agrees there's a burnout problem with teachers.
There certainly is.
So what do you do about that?
I really think each district taking the time to talk with their teachers, and not just talk to, but listen to what the teachers are saying they need. I know in my district, our assistant superintendent did what they called a listening walk throughout all of the schools and really just allowed teachers to share out what their struggles are, and then he took that information back and came up with a comprehensive plan on how to address what they saw were the biggest issues across the district. And I think things like that, just listening to and taking that professional consideration of what teachers are telling you is a huge piece. Just the listening alone made teachers feel more supported. And now actionable steps on how to fix those pieces.
And really important stuff. We only have about 30 seconds left. The CEA, the Teachers Union, was nice enough to get you for us, and obviously you have important concerns that you want to express, but I don't want it to all be doom and gloom either. There's lots of great things happening in schools. Katie, with just 30 seconds left, can you say something positive and make people feel good about all the great work you guys do?
I think teaching is the best career. There is nothing like working with students and getting to see them figuring things out and being able to do things that they didn't think that they could do kind of when they entered your classroom at the beginning of the year. And it's such a joyful profession. I am always laughing in my classroom. We have a ton of fun with our students and with our colleagues. So I wouldn't change it. I wouldn't change being a teacher.
I think teaching is one of the very few professions that allows you to touch the future and have a true impact on a future. CEA has the Because of a Teacher campaign that they're doing, and it's true. Every profession in this world happens because a teacher led that child and guided that child at some point in time.
Well, the Teacher Appreciation Week officially starts tomorrow, but let me go first. Thank you. And thank you for being with us. I think an important perspective for everyone. Thanks, both of you, for being here.
Thank you.